Hey, it's Julie James. Welcome back to Fanfare, an insider's look at Broadway, one show at a time. Joining me in the main dining room of the famed Sardi's to discuss the show are Grover Dale, the co-director and choreographer, Tony Award-winning actresses Faith Prince and Debbie Gravitte, Broadway veteran Marianne Lamb, and renowned dancer Robert LaFosse. Let's rewind a bit and kind of cover some ground, which I would love to know from you, Grover, how you became involved with the production and where did the decision to have you as the co-director come from? Because it seems like Jerome Robbins is, so sort of quintessential in his own signature and his own style and work, and I'm so fascinated by the fact that you were brought in to his mix.
Well, I remember getting a phone call from him, and I was living in California with my family, and he said, look, I'm in my 70s and I have health issues, and if something happens to me, I know the show would get done if you were aboard. So he got me on that level.
What a vouch. What a vouch.
He sucked me in, baby.
I'm dying.
Right,
I need you.
I'm dying. So
That's old school show business.
I told you that I was doing West Side, and he had me when we were doing this kind of at the Moonies, kind of reconstructing it. I was doing Anybody's, and he turned to me, and goes, "And Anybody's is me, that young gay boy in New Jersey." And then he said to us, isn't that interesting? He said, in 1950s, we couldn't cast a young feminine boy. So they cast a girl in that part. But that's me. And I remember all of us in the room just going like this, whoa. Because if you look at the story, why is she there? Why is Anybody's a girl sitting there? Why is she hanging out with the boys? But
I'm going to look at West Side in a whole new way.
Yeah. I never forgot that.
West Side happened out of a question. An actor came up to him and said, I'm playing Romeo and Juliet. What do I do? And he said, who would Romeo and Juliet be today? That's where it came from. That's Actor Studio. I mean, you get sense memory about what can you use from now to help you for then. And that's how it developed. It was called East Side Story.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Jews and Gentiles, originally.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah. The whole finger snapping in West Side Story comes from an observation, and it's a really simple observation that is turned into something that it's not. But the observation was a guy in the corner with a nervous tick like this. So there's the snapping, but it's not about the snapping. So that's turned into this. It's gotten that big, when in fact it was this big. You're not even looking at the finger, you're looking at me. That's the truth in it.
He told us once when we were doing West Side Story that the more first you speak, and then you can't get your across, and then you sing, and then you dance. And the way he described it to us in West Side is watching someone on the street, a couple arguing, and first they go back and forth, and that's acting. Then they start screaming at each other, and that's song. And then she shoves and he shoves, and that's dance. So every time we approached any step, it was from an actor.
Once you were in the show, and it was becoming a big fat hit, where do we go from there? And Tony Awards, 6 Tony Awards, including Best Musical.
Yeah, it was my first Tony. But I remember something really wonderful about Faith that I don't want to cry, but when the nominations came out, Faith and I were nominated. Faith, I'm going to cry, sent me flowers when I won, and it was like one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me, because I went, this is a class act. Because I get it, when you're nominated, you're like, oh, so grateful to be nominated. You want to fucking win. You don't want to being nominated was enough. No. And I knew that Faith wanted to win as much as I did. And then I won, and she was like, basta, onward. And of course we all knew that Faith was going to go on to do amazing things because she was and is amazing. So it was pretty cool.
But when I saw that Jerome Robbins was doing this, I thought to myself, now, if I don't get cast in that, I may think about doing something else, because I thought I had been born 30 years too late. And I thought, this is classic American musical theater. This is at its best. And I thought, if I can't find a place there, I may have to rethink this, because this may not be the place for me.
Wow.
So when he chose me, it was huge turning point in my life, because it was like finally somebody saw what I felt, you know, and it was that connection. And I have to say, there was just nothing better than making him laugh.
Yeah.
And when he would laugh, and you would do something that would be funny, and he would laugh, there was just nothing better in the world than seeing that intense, amazing, genius man, just like a kid. Me, you know, he would write you notes. He'd come in and we'd always say, oh, it's glowing in the dark, because his head and his hair was white, you know. And it was like you'd see him glowing in the dark. And he'd think nobody knew he was there. It was like beaming, you know. And I go, well, he's here tonight, you know. And I'm not kidding you, I kept his notes. He sent me, it was like 65 notes on a page. It was so specific. So I have it in a little box. I'll never forget it. I was like, out of 65 people, these are the notes you had for me. You know, and it's not, it just, he's so incredibly detailed.
Yeah, his detailing.
Well, he's in love with the theater. I mean, he's passionately in love with the theater. And he's not in love with, you know, what comes along with the theater, the fame, he's really in love with the work. He's in love with the truth. And when the truth happens, he would laugh, or he would be moved. And when it wasn't there, he would be like, no, we're not moving forward until, you know, and so there was always a scapegoat, like somebody who wasn't telling the truth, and he was like, no. You know, but it wasn't about being mean. It was about being, you're not with us. You're not here.
And you know what was fun is that we met so many people during the rehearsal process. He would bring in all these people that anyone alive.
So we do West Side Story. We're doing West Side Story.
Leonard
Bernstein comes in.
Yes.
We're doing Peter Pan. Mary Martin sang. Do you remember when she sang? She sang Neverland.
It was,
It
and
was
Nancy
unbelievable.
Walker, and every day you didn't know who was going to walk in the room, and
And of
who
course,
you were
Julie
gonna
Stein.
perform.
Julie Stein. I went. Steve. Yeah, they were all there. Yeah.
I feel so fortunate that in even my tertiary way, I have experienced his legacy. And I want to thank each of you for the legacy that you have had a part in. It's so special. And that's exactly why Fanfare is the perfect place to have gathered all of you. And on behalf of all the theater lovers that I know are going to be voraciously eating along with us, eating your stories and memories.
Thank you.
On their behalf, thank you. Thank you.
So fun for us.
Yeah, Jerome Robbins Broadway.
Well, he's looking at us right now.
He's looking over us right now. Jerry. To Jerry.
Yes.
Jerome Robbins Broadway reminded the world all that they owe to the band who brought us West Side Story, On the Town, Peter Pan, Fiddler on the Roof, and of course, Gypsy. Thank you to Grover Dale, Debbie Gravitte, Faith Prince, Marianne Lamb, and Robert LaFosse for sharing their stories and experiences today. They were amazing. That's all from Sardi's. I'm Julie James, and we'll see you next time as we take an insider's look into the world of Broadway, one show at a time, on Fanfare.